Early voting has begun for the Georgia Senate runoffs, and a whopping 1.2 million residents have already requested absentee ballots. Now, one reason for this explosion of ballot requests is the massive voter turnout effort that is being led by a group called Headcount. So who are they? Well, according to their website, they're a nonpartisan organization that uses the power of music to register voters and promote participation in democracy. How nice. But if you dig a little deeper, it quickly becomes clear that Headcount's nonpartisan label is a total sham. For starters, Headcount's webpage for Georgia races touts live stream concerts that they host to raise money for two groups, one of which is called the Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda. That sounds terrible. Well, the webpage goes on to solicit donations to this group, which, surprise, leads to a website hosted by the Democrat fundraising machine, Act Blue. Now, that's the same Act Blue through which Democrats raised billions this past election cycle. So Headcount isn't just focused, though, on registering voters. They also launched an organization to legalize pot called the Cannabis Voter Project. Now, if that doesn't raise your eyebrows, well, earlier this year, Headcount teamed up with the global group Global Citizen to register young people to vote. Democrats are routinely featured guests at Global Citizen events, including this man.
There are many different issues that bring us here tonight. Extreme poverty, climate change. I look out and I see a sea of global citizens.
He always seems angry when he's ranting. Joining me now is Jessica Anderson, Executive Director at Heritage Action, that's been looking into this group. Jessica, is there any doubt that Headcount is not a nonpartisan group, really? I mean, it's basically a Democrat get-out-the-vote effort.
That's exactly right, Laura. The reality is that the left does this all the time. They create these pop-up organizations where they then fly in celebrities from Hollywood to really try to engage and buy these voters' votes. I mean, when you look at something like Headcount, they actually have the rapper 2 Chainz in the state of Georgia offering to give away free Teslas, the Tesla car, to any new voter that they register.
Yeah, we're going to play that. Jessica, don't mean to interrupt, but we want to play this, an example of what you're talking about, some of the little bribing that's going on in Georgia. Watch.
All right, what up? It's 2 Chainz here, and the Georgia Senate runoff ends January 5th, so I want to see everybody vote. I want to know that everybody votes. So what I'm doing is I'm teaming up with Headcount, and I'm giving away a free Tesla. That's right, a free Tesla.
Free Tesla? Anything else? This is like Oprah, watching an Oprah show.
It really is, Laura, and it's
legal?
So true.
Is it legal? And why aren't we doing it if so?
It's legal only if the voters are actual registered legal voters in the state of Georgia. But I think that this goes to a larger issue, which is that the left has to rely on efforts like this because their socialist agenda doesn't work for Georgians. And so they resort to these gimmicks. And I got to tell you, the conservatives that are in Georgia that we have been talking to, going door to door with our phone banks and our text messages, they are seeing through this, and they see the facade from the left, and they know that this is radical. And I think it's the work of the ground game and hardworking Americans in Georgia that are going to turn this out for conservatives, not these failed efforts of basically giving away free cars to bribe the votes based on what celebrities want.
Yeah, a friend of mine got in text messages 2 every day for the last number of weeks. I don't know how long, but 2 every day, at least 2. That says, request your mail-in ballot, and you could get free rent for you and a friend for the year. Like, wait, aren't they already getting rent forgiveness anyway in the new stimulus? But so free rent, a Tesla, and I'm sure there are lots of other goodies. All right, this from Forbes. I'm going to read this to you. 102,609 Georgians who didn't vote in the presidential race had requested a mail-in ballot, making up about 6.5% of all mail-in requests. Jessica, as someone who's been looking at politics for a long time, that doesn't give me a great feeling about what could come down the road for Republicans in Georgia, but what am I missing here?
Well, this is exactly the type of fraud that we have been raising the red flag for months now. We know that the fraud is real. We know that it can be proven. And the reality is that the left is using this basically as psychological warfare to suppress the vote in the state of Georgia. They would like nothing less than conservative voters to stay home and think that their vote would be stolen. I mean, this is what we are fighting, not only the front to make sure that the votes are legal, but the psychological warfare aspect of this to ensure that conservatives don't fall to the prey of the left here. And, you know, I have to say, I've been thinking about this a lot. We've been talking to these voters. What do we know about Georgia? We know that they love baseball, so let's use a simple analogy. When the Astros won the World Series, we all knew that they won because they cheated. We didn't stay home. The Braves didn't stay home the next year and just hand them the next World Series. No, they went out, they fought like crazy, and they ensured that their guys were there. And that's what we want to see in Georgia from conservatives, to show up January 5th. The only way to beat this fraud is to show up so much that it puts it to bed.
Yeah, you better show up in big numbers. That's all I can say, because they're giving away free Teslas and free rent for a year, okay? And if you think that's going to sustain you and your family for the rest of your life, good luck.
Right.
Thanks, Jessica. We appreciate it tonight. And